Everyone, good morning. Welcome you all for the SQL for Data Science webinar. So today is the last session. Was that last 3 sessions were useful to you? Did you enjoy that? Did you learn anything from that? Hey everyone, good morning. Good morning. No worries, even if you have not attended last 3 sessions, no worries. Basically, recorded videos are available on DataMites YouTube channel. You can just go there and you can watch them. Okay, yeah. So in yesterday's session, basically, I discussed about things like aggregate functions, how to use aggregate functions along with a group by clause, having clause. And also we discussed about what is an update statement, how to use alter statement. And also we discussed about, a few interview questions, such as like, what is the difference between group by clause, having clause? What is the difference between where and having clause? What is the difference between like drop, delete, and truncate? We discussed all these things in yesterday's session. So yeah, let's begin with today's session and let's see what. Oh, just a minute. Yeah. So the topics that I'm going to discuss for today are like, let's discuss about the joins. We have different joins in SQL, and let me explain you like how to combine multiple tables, how to combine tables using a different join concepts. And also I'll be showing you like how to use SQL using the Python. Most of them were asking like how to use SQL using a Python. So we'll do that. So first let's discuss about the different joins and then slowly we'll jump into our SQL using Python. Which will be, I'm sure that SQL using Python will be very interesting. And because you people will be doing projects on machine learning, sometimes you want to fetch your data using, databases. Instead of going directly to a MySQL workbench or some other editors, what you can do is you can directly make use of your host name, username, password, and you can just enter it in a Python and you'll be able to fetch your database and directly you can fetch whatever records or whatever data is required for you, you can fetch and you can start doing your project. Okay, so shall we begin with the joins? Yeah, there are basically different joins. SQL joins are basically used to combine two tables based on a common column. Make sure you have a common column between two tables or multiple tables, only then you'll be able to combine them. What it does is it will select records that have matching values in these columns. Okay. And the different types of joins that we are going to study are like inner join, left join, right join, and finally full outer join. I'll explain you in detail like what are these different joins and how to use them using the using the MySQL workbench. And also let's try to apply these joins in order to combine two tables. Okay, yeah. So firstly, let's say inner join. Inner join basically returns those records which have a matching values in both the tables. What do you mean by that? So when you have two tables, like, we call it as a left table and a right table when we have two tables. So when we apply inner join on those two tables, what we are going to get is like, we are basically going to get the records which have a matching values in both the tables. That means whatever values, whatever records you have it in a table 1, same record should be there in a table 2. Only then those matching records will be fetched by using this inner join. This is how inner join is going to work. And and you can see you might have learned about an intersection concept. In a set, you might have heard about an intersection concept. What does intersection do? It basically gives you the common elements, right? Same thing is going to happen even with a SQL. When I say inner join, it basically acts like a intersection. That means it will fetch matching records from both the table, or else it will try to join. It will try to create a new table by fetching matching records from both the tables. All right. And let's look at the syntax, like how it looks, how inner join is applied on two different tables. You can see here, basically we use a select statement. That's a normal thing. So whatever SQL commands that you use, that has to be done along with a select statement. That's the very important thing. Okay. So we are using select statements, and you can specify your column names, like whatever columns you need to fetch. So select columns from, first we have to specify our table 1. Okay. And then since we are applying inner join, you need to specify your inner join. And then you have to specify your table 2. We are combining, we are trying to apply this inner join on two tables, table 1 and table 2. So what are you doing? Select columns from table 1. We are inner joining table 2 on what? I told you that you can combine two tables only if they have a matching columns. Only then it works. Otherwise, you cannot combine tables. Okay, so if you have a matching column, on that we are trying to do this inner join. Okay, so make sure that matching column, column should be in both the columns. So what we do is we try it like table 1 dot matching column equals table 2 dot matching column, or I would say common column. So this is how inner join syntax works. Okay, so remember, inner join returns those records which have a matching values in both the tables. Matching values means it's a common values in both the tables. It works exactly like an intersection. Can you see? This is a table 1 and this is table 2. This part is called as common or a matching records. It will return you a matching records from both the tables. So this is how inner join is going to work. Clear? So you have to use select statements, specify your columns that you have to return. So from table 1, your inner join, you are using inner join statement. Table 2 on what? So this inner join is basically applied only if there is a matching column in both the tables. That is table 1 dot that common column equals table 2 dot matching column or a common column. Only then it's going to return you the matching records from both the tables. Okay, remember this. I'll just explain this in a very clear way just by taking an example. Okay. Look here, I have a table. This is my first table, which has details like employee ID, employee name, salary, and department ID. Okay. And let me take another table. This is my first table, and let me take second table. Yeah. So this is my second table, which has a columns like, department ID and department name. So I need to combine these two tables. Oh, sorry, I forgot to give a names for this. The first table is an employee table, and the second one is a department table. Okay, so this is an employee table, and this is a department table. Okay, I want to combine these two tables. How do you do? Which is the common column that you see in these two tables? Which is the common column? Which is the matching column? Exactly, department ID. Very good. So when you have a matching column or a common column, only then we'll be able to apply the inner join or any join. Okay, so now what I should do, I need to combine the records. I need to apply an inner join. I told you the rule that in order to apply an inner join, that should be what is the definition of inner join? That's basically going to return you the matching records. Okay, so what inner join does, like it will look for the common column. So this is the common column in both the tables, department ID and department ID in department table. Okay, now my question is, I need to apply an inner join. Yeah. So let me apply an inner join. So what happens? Can you guess the output? So what happens if I apply an inner join on this? So it has to return me records. It will basically look for department IDs in both the tables. So you have department 1 in the first table as well as in the second table. Yeah. And also you have department 2. Oh yeah, department 2 is in second table as well. Similarly, you have department 3 and department 3 in both the tables. And also you have department 4. Yeah, it's in first table as well as in the second table. Look, is there a department 7 in the table 2? You have department 7 only in a table 1. You don't have it in a table 2. So it's not considering this D7. Similarly, it's not even considering D5 because they are not the matching records. What are the only matching records that you see here? Only these things, right? These are the matching records. So that means on applying inner join, it has to return you only these 4 records. So that's how inner join works, right? So it's basically, yes, D1 to D4. That's how inner join is working. That means it's basically trying to return you the matching records from both the tables. And in this case, the common column is department ID, department ID. Clear? So now let's look for the output. And I have just created a sample, okay? We'll do that using a MySQL workbench and you'll understand in a better way. Okay, yeah, that's what we expected, right? Like records from D1 to D4. What are the records? What are the employee IDs for these 4 departments? It's basically E1, E2, E3, E4. So you got the 4 records and the corresponding names, employee name, corresponding salary, and also the department name, corresponding department name for this department ID. Are you getting? So this is how inner join is going to work. Understood? So what inner join does, it basically returns you the common records from both the tables. Make sure you have a common column in both the tables. Only then we can apply inner join. Understood? Shall we do the same thing using MySQL workbench? Joins plays a very important role in SQL. Yeah, let me go back to my MySQL workbench and let's see how it works. So where it is. Yeah, it's here. Hope you can see the MySQL workbench. Yes, okay, that's good. So I have created 2 tables, okay? One is employee table and the other one is a department table. Let me show you like what are the records that have inserted into our employee table as well as in a department table. First, let me fetch all the records from, oh, sorry, it's a select asterisk from employee. This is going to fetch all the records from employee table. Let's run this. Oh, yeah. So this is my table. I've taken a very small data set because it will be easy for you to understand things. Since you are a beginner, I don't want to mess up with, by taking a huge data set. So I've taken a very small data set, which will be easy for you to analyze. Okay. So this is basically select star from asterisk from employee. Okay, let me create one more query tab so that you'll get to know the difference. Okay, and here I'll show you like select asterisk from. So my second table is department, where you see columns related to a department. Department table basically have a columns like, department name and a department ID. So can you see? So this is a department name, department column, department table. So which has a columns like department name and a department ID. Okay. So you have a different department IDs like D1, D2, D3, D5, D4. All right. And also you saw the employee table. So this is how employee table look. Okay. Shall we apply inner join for this? How do you apply? You know the syntax, right? So I need to start with a select statement. Select statement is very important. So now I want to fetch, okay, I want employee ID. So let's say I want employee ID column. Let me write that. And also I want employee name. Okay, let me take that as well. And I want, do you want to see age? I think that's not required. Let's fetch only salary. And also I want to fetch the department name. Okay, so department name is in this case, department name. So I'm trying to fetch that as well. Okay, it's just a D name. Sorry, it's not. Yeah, it's D name. Okay, then what happens? So I'm selecting all these things from the table 1. What is our table 1? My table 1 is employee. Okay, yeah, and I need to use inner join. So let's say inner join. And now I need to take a table 2, which is my table 2, which is my second table. It's basically department. And then what should I do? I should use on operator. What we are doing? Table 1, inner join, table 2, on. On what? Which is the common column in these 2 tables? I should apply inner join on what? On which column? Yes, exactly. Department ID. Very good. Because department ID is the common column. Exactly. So make sure when you want to see that condition, make sure you fetch that from a table. Okay. So my first table is employee dot. It's going to be department ID, which is equal to my second table is department dot department ID. Okay, department dot department ID. Okay, shall I run this? Can you guess the output? I'll show both the tables, employee as well as a department. So can I get few answers? What I'm going to get? What IDs am I going to get for inner join? So this is my employee ID. Look carefully, and I'll show you department as well. Yeah. So you have D1, D2, D3, D4, and D5. And can you guess it now? What will be the output? Yeah, Rita, I'm going to get, obviously, I have to get employee ID, employee name, salary, and a department name. But can you guess the records? What inner join does, it basically trying to give you the common records. Yeah. Okay, people are saying D1, D2, D3, D4, D5. And can you guess the corresponding employee IDs? One 101, 102, 103, 104, and 105, right? So because if I look into our department table, it has got D1, D2, D3, D4, and D5. It has got everything. Yeah. And let's run this. Okay, let's run this and let's look at the output and let's see what it's going to return. Oh, you got the same thing? You got the 5 IDs, employee IDs for the corresponding department names? Yes. Are you ready? So this is how inner join is going to work. Is it clear? Okay, that's good. I want to do some changes for this department because I have all the 5 records. I want to introduce one more. So what I do, I just want to introduce a new data set. Okay, I just want to introduce a new, what I would say, new recording to this department. So how do you insert a new recording to this? It's insert into, right? And my table name is department, and it's going to be values. I have to give department name as, okay, sales is there. Let's see admin. And I'll say department ID as, let's say data. Okay, fine, no problem. Yeah. So hope you got it regarding like how inner join works. Now let's move on to the next join and let's see how other joins are going to work. Let me go back to my PPT. It's here. Okay. So done with the inner join. Hope you have got it. The next one is left join. Can you guess the definition of left join? What do you mean by that? Any idea? Okay. You know, left join basically returns all the records from left table and also the matching records from right table. So what do you mean by that? It will return everything, all the records from the left table, and also it will look for the matching records in the right table. Okay. And the syntax is something like this. It's completely, you can see here, the Venn diagram notation is something like this. What it says, it's going to return all the records from left. That means it will take all the records, whether it has a matching with right table or not, it's going to consider. And also along with all the records of left table, it will include the matching records from table 2. So that's why this is considered. Okay. And let's look at the syntax and let's see how it's going to work. Syntax is pretty similar. Same thing you have to do. You have to take a select statement and you have to specify your column name. Okay, like whatever columns you want. From table 1, this is my left table. You need to specify left table and you're applying a left join and the keyword is going to be left join. Okay, keyword is going to be left join and you have to specify your right table, that is table 2, on what? You have to apply even this left join on a matching column. Make sure you have some matching column. Only then you can apply this left join. What left join is doing, it's going to return you all the records of left table along with the matching records from right table. So this is how left join is going to work. Clear? Yeah. So let me explain this in detail by taking an example. Let's take a table. Okay, I have a same example, and yeah, this is my employee table, and this is my department table, and also I'm trying to apply the left join. Oh, I gave the output. Sorry. Yeah. So can you guess the output now? So what will be the output? So what left join does? Left join basically returns all the records from the first table or the left table and the matching records from the right table. So that means you are going to get all the records from employee table. So your table will get everything. You'll get everything like even E2, E3, E4, E5. Yes. And what are the matching records? Matching records are like D1, D2, D3, D4. You don't have a D5. That means you'll get only these four things. Yes. You'll get the corresponding, department names like IT, HR, and you'll get it like admin, and you'll get it like finance. So what happens for E5? E5 department ID is D7, and here we don't have any corresponding D7. We don't have a matching record in right table. So what will be the value here? What will be the value on this department name for this employee ID E5? Yeah, it will not be present. Department name for this E5 will not be there because it's D7 and we don't have D7 record in a right table. So what will be the output then? If there is nothing means what does it represent? It's going to be null, empty record. Exactly. Understood. Okay, now let me show you the answer and let's see what it returns. So can you see? Can you make out the difference now? What left join is doing? So it basically returns all the records from the left table. This is our left table. It has written you everything. You can see even E2, E3, E4, E5, and you have all the employee names, you have all the salaries. And we are trying to do this left join on department ID. In department ID, what we have, like we have just even D2, D3, D4 as a common records. So for those corresponding department IDs, we have got the names like IT, HR, admin, finance. But if you look at the employee ID E5, its department ID is D7, and this D7 doesn't have a department name because corresponding record is not available in department table. So that's why it's giving you null. Are you getting? So left table means it's going to return you all the records of a left table, and also along with that, it will return common tables. Why department name is coming? That's what we are trying to do, Partha. We are trying to combine both the tables. So based on department ID, based on a common column. So in both the tables, column is department ID, right? So based on that department ID, we are trying to combine the table 1 and table 2. No, I have not shared the employee data set. Do you want that data set? Don't worry, just look at the things like how it's happening. You can do it later. Okay, I'll share by the end of the day. You can just download that SQL database, just dump into your MySQL and you can start to. Okay, now just understand the things. Is that okay? Because I have to cover SQL using Python. Yeah, exactly, Partha. When I say left join, it returns all the records of a left table. It gave you all the records of left table. Along with that, it will give you the matching records of the right table. Okay, yeah. Yes, I'll share the database, but not now because I need to cover things. Okay, just understand the concept. Okay, yeah. Understood about the left table, left join? It gives you all the records from left table, only the matching records from the right table. That's how things are working in left join. So we'll do the same thing using using MySQL Workbench, and let's see what it's going to return and how it works. Yeah. So let me go back to MySQL Workbench. Okay. It's Priya, it's matching. We are not looking at the department name, we are looking at the department ID. If it has a common department IDs, okay, make sure you have a common columns in both the tables. Then based on that common columns, we are going to return the records. We are going to combine the tables. I'll show it here. Look here. Don't worry. Okay, yeah. You know about an employee table. I'll show you again. Listen carefully. I'll show you the employee table. So this is an employee table. Similarly, I'll show you a department table. And here it is. So this is a department table. Okay. All right. Okay. So now I need to apply a left join. Can you guess the output? What should I do? What changes should I make for this above code? Writing a SQL query for joins is very easy. You just have to make a very small change. What is that? Can you guess? I'll write a code for you again. Yeah, so it's select employee ID, I just want to return employee name, salary. Yeah, that's it. In the place of inner join, just write left join. That's it. Okay. And the way it performs or the way it functions is very different. And I want department name as well from employee. Okay, so instead of inner join, I'm just using left join. And the second table is basically department on what? On employee dot department ID equals department dot department ID. Shall I run this? What should I get? I should get all the records of this employee along with the matching records of a right table. Okay. And you have seen the department table, right? Oh, yeah, it will give an output now. Look here carefully. It has written you all the records of the employee table. So all these records were there in the employee table, right? Should I show you that? All these records were there in the employee table. What left join is doing, it's returning everything from a first table, that is from our employee table, and the matching records from the right table. What was the matching records? So matching records were these things, D1, D2, D3, D4, D5. Yes, no? But we had something in employee, like other than these 5 departments, we had some other departments as well in our employee table. Did you notice that? And in that place, we have gotten output as, null value, because there are no departments, there is no corresponding department name for those departments. Can you see D7 and D8? So we have a matching department IDs in our department table only for D1, D2, D3, D4, and D5. But in our employee table, we have 2 more records like D7 and D8. For these departments, you don't have a corresponding department name in our department table. So what happens? Obviously, it has to return you a null value. Yes? Can you see here? It's giving you a null. Can you make out? It's giving you null because there is no corresponding department name for those IDs, for those departments. So this is how a left join is going to work. Is it clear? What inner join does, inner join gives you the common records or a matching records from both the tables. Okay. And what left join does, it will give you all the records from a left table and also the matching records from the right table. Is it clear? Okay, that's good. Shall we move on to the next join? This is about the left join. The next join is right join. Can you guess the answer for right join? What is right join? What is right join? You can guess answer now. It's quite opposite to left join. I said left join is going to return all the records from left and the matching from right. Yeah, exactly. Right join means it's going to return all the records from the right table and matching records from the left table. Okay, yes, very good, Hina, Partha. That's right. Good answer. Yeah. And right join is something like this. It returns everything from a right join and the matching records from left join. And let's look at the syntax. Syntax is almost similar. Instead of left join, you just have to take a right join. That's it. Okay. Shall I show this using an example? So I have an employee table and I have a department table. And can you guess the output? Can I know like how many records it's going to return me? How many records it's going to return me? Tell me in terms of employee ID. Come on, guess. Right join means it's going to return you all the records from right, which is the right table here. Think and answer. Think and answer. So this is a right table. It will return all the records from right table and also the matching records from left table. What are all the records from this? So these are all the records, right? Yeah. And what are the matching records? Matching records means it has to take you D1, D2, D3, and D4. Yes. So how many records? 4 or 5 records? Hey, someone has said even E2, E3, E4, even E5. Are you sure? Yeah, it's going to return 5 records. Exactly, 5 records. Which are they? It will give you everything in a department name. Yeah. And also it will give the corresponding salary. Salary, it will give these salaries, only these things. These are the matching records. And if I take employee name, it will give you these things. And if I take employee ID, it will give these things. It will not consider E5. Why? Because this is not a matching record, right? So this is not a matching record. Yeah. This is not a matching record, so it's not going to return you this. This is not returning. Instead, you are getting all the records of this department ID, that is department name, all department names you will get it, and corresponding matching records. E1, E2, E3, E4. And also, D5 don't have a corresponding, employee ID, employee name, and a salary. You don't find D5 here, right? You don't have D5 here. So what will be the employee name, employee salary, employee ID for the sales record? It will be null. Exactly, because you don't find department 5 in this employee table. That's why it's going to return you null. Very good. That's right. Yeah. I'll show you the answer. So where is it? So simultaneously just open your Anaconda Navigator. Just launch Jupyter Notebook side by, okay? Yeah. Listen here and also simultaneously do that. So can you see what is that? What it has written? So most of them were right. So it gave you all the records from a department table. That means it gave you IT, HR, admin, finance, sales, and the matching records from the left table. Matching records means from D1 to D4. So you have got 4 employee IDs, E1 to E4. Yes. For D5, that is for sales, you don't have a corresponding employee ID. That's why it's null. And similarly, you got employee names like John, Mary, Steve, and Helen. So, and the corresponding name is not that for the sales. That is for department 5. It's going to return you null. Similarly, you don't have corresponding salary. That's why it's null. Getting? So this is how a right join is going to work. Here, I'll show this like how this right join is going to work in my SQL workbench. So what changes should I make now? What changes should I make now? So it's right join. Yeah. Yeah, instead of left join, just change it to right join. That's just going to return you the table. That means it returns everything from a right table and it just gives you the matching records from a left table. Okay. You want to see the differences, like how things are going to happen. First, I'll show you the employee table. So this is how employee table is. So, so you have, look carefully, I want answer from you. So how many departments you have? D1, D2, D3, D4, D5, 7 and 8. Yeah. And let me show you our department table. So department table is here. So what is going to return? So we are trying to apply a right join. Right join means it has to return all the records from the right table and matching records from left table. So what it's going to return you now? It gives you everything, D1, D2, D3, D4, D5, all the department names and the corresponding what? Corresponding employee ID, employee name, age. No, Kavita, that's removed. What is removed? No, we are not removing. We are trying to combine based on that particular thing, based on that common column. Department ID is a common column here. Okay. So shall I run this? So it has to return me the records, but it has to return me only 5 records because the department table has got only 5 records, right? 5 departments. So all 5 records, let's run this and let's see what output it's going to return me. Yeah, so there were only 5 departments and there were all 5 records were present even in the left table. That's why you got everything. And there are no null values here. Okay, is it clear about the left join, right join, and inner join? Got the difference? That's how I have created department names or databases. Like first I gave a D5 and then I gave a D4. Okay. So there is one more join. We call it as a full outer join. That is the last join, which will be starting in a SQL. We call it as a full outer join. Full outer join basically returns all the matching records from both the tables. So it's not a matching records, it returns all the records from both the tables. Sorry, I should remove that matching. I'm sorry. Yeah, full outer join is like a union, exactly. So it returns all the records, not the matching. Only inner join returns the matching record. Full outer join returns all the records from both the tables. Okay, remember that. Yeah. No, Partha, asterisk is not going to work. Like we are trying to combine, right? You have a different column names in first table and you have different columns in a second table. Obviously, you have to specify those names. Okay. Yeah. So full outer join basically returns you all the records from both the table. It's going to work like a union. The way union works in a set, in a similar way, full outer join is going to work. It doesn't look for a matching records or it doesn't bother about it. It just returns you all the records from first table as well as the second table. Hey, joining one row is not possible. Like we have to deal with the columns. I mean, with a table. Okay, remember one more thing. Full outer join is not going to work with, MySQL workbench. Instead of that, instead of full outer join, what we do is we take a union on both left join and a right join. Remember this. Full outer join will not work in a MySQL workbench. So instead of full outer join, we take union. However, full outer join is same as a union, right? Even what union does, it will return everything, all the records of both the tables. Even full outer join returns all the records from both the tables. So instead of, using full outer join, if you take some other ideas like, Oracle or MySQL server, that full outer join will work. But MySQL doesn't support this full outer join. So what we do for that is we just apply this union operator on both left join and a right join. Oh, I gave both left join. Just a moment. Sorry, it's basically a right join. You just need to combine, both the, like whatever sequence statements you have written for left join and a right join. Just combine them using union operator. And it's going to return you all the records from both the tables. Remember this, okay? So MySQL Workbench will not support this full outage join. If you want to return all the records from both the tables, then just apply left join and right join and then take union for both the statements. Okay, I'll show you like how it works. And this is my employee table and this is my department table. As you know, full outer join means it will consider everything. That's why it's a fully shaded. Okay, yeah. Look here, it gave you everything. All the records from both the table. Can you make out? Yeah, we have E1, E2, E3, E4, E5. So it gave you everything from the first table. And why this null in the last record? Why is it null? Why employee ID is null? Why employee name is null? Why salary is null? Because it's trying to return all the records from both the tables, right? So it gave you all the records from employee and it took the corresponding department names from the second table as well. So you got IT, HR, admin, finance. And yeah, and employee 5, this employee 5 has got a department ID D7 and we don't find D7 here. So no department name, right? No corresponding department name in our department table. That's why it's giving you null. Similarly, you have extra department D5 here in our department table, but you don't find the department in our employee table. So that's why it's returning everything. What outer join does, it will take all the records. If you don't find the corresponding values for its corresponding column values, it just takes the value as null. So that's why these things are null, because sales it's a department 5, and you don't find any department 5 here. That's why the salary is null, employee name is null, and also employee ID is null for the sales. Clear? So this is how full outer join is going to work. Got it? So we'll do this using MySQL Workbench. What you will do, what is the simplest way? What you will do? How do you find a full outer join? I want to return all the records. I need to use union operator between the left join and a right join, right? So I'll just remove, I have already written left join statement as well as the right join statements. So let me remove this semicolon. And let's use a union. Okay, and let's run this. It has to return me all the records from both the tables. Can you see? It gave you all the records from department as well as all the records from employee. For these two, for these two employee IDs, 106 and 107, you don't have a corresponding department names. So that's why it's showing you null. Okay, so this is how a full outer join is going to work. You can't apply full outer join directly in a MySQL Workbench. It's not going to support. So you have to apply union operator on both left join as well as on right join. So are things cleared about left join, right join? Yeah? So are things cleared about a joint? Okay, let's do a quick recap of things what we studied. So first join was inner join. What inner join does? It basically returns you all the common records or the matching records from both the tables. Yes. And then we learned about the left join. Left join returns you all the records from left table and the matching records from the right table. That's how left join works. And a right join means it returns all the records from right table and the matching records from the left table. Okay, that's how right join works. And finally, full outer join, that means it works as a union. That means it returns all the records from both left and right table. Clear? So this is how SQL joins are going to work. So as an advanced part, you can use these joins in order to write a query to fetch data, and many things could be done. But I'm basically just focusing on a basic stuff like how to combine tables using these joins. Okay, and I want you people to explore more on these joins. You'll do that? Yeah. Okay, that's good. Okay, now shall we move on to Python and let's see how SQL works using the Python. Have you all opened a Jupyter notebook? Are you ready with that? Okay, let's begin the session then. Okay, that's good. So can you see the screen? Yeah. Okay. So in last 3 sessions, like what we discussed was like, writing SQL queries in MySQL Workbench. But same queries can be written even using the Python, because you'll be focusing more on doing projects using a Jupyter notebook or a Google Colab, or probably using VS Code or a PyCharm, right? So rather, moving on to a MySQL Workbench, or then connecting to a database and retrieving, or instead of doing all these operations or CRUD operations in MySQL Workbench, what you can do is you can directly do things in Python, which will be very easy for you directly. It might take like half an hour or probably not more than that. So within that short period of time, you can connect to your database and you can fetch whatever data is required to you. Believe it or not, like once you finish your course, what you'll do, you'll be entering into your internship, right? That you'll be doing projects. So when you get a client project, that they'll not give you the data set directly. Rather, they just give you the database name, they'll specify the host name, username, and a password. So using that, you have to extract your data, you have to look for the database, then from the database, you have to select your data, you need to fetch the records that is required for you, and then you have to start doing analysis of your project. That's how things goes. Okay, you don't get like, it's not an easy thing. Getting data is not an easy thing. It's not always available for you in a CSV format or an Excel format. Sometimes you might get a data which is stored in a database, someone's database. So they'll just provide you the details of like, database like host name, username, password. In that case, you have to connect that to, you can connect that using MySQL Workbench as well. But easiest way, what you can do is you can connect with a Python. If you want to do the, when you have a huge data set or millions of data set, then go with a MySQL Workbench because it supports you the huge data set, massive data set. But Python, so when you have a very less data, like a very, like, no, if it's like, 50,000 or like somewhere in that range, I think you can go with a Python. You can try to extract your database using a Python concept. Okay, so shall we start? So before starting this, what you have to do, in order to connect any database to any database using a Python, we have a concept called as PyMySQL. PyMySQL is an interface which is used to connect MySQL database server using a Python. Okay, it basically implements the Python database API version 2, and it contains a pure Python MySQL client library. And this goal of this PyMySQL is to be a drop-in replacement for MySQL database. So instead of using MySQL database, what you can do directly, you can use this Python MySQL, and you can directly connect to a database and you can start fetching your data. So this is how, this PyMySQL is useful. Got it? So in order to start with, before connecting to any database, first you have to import these two libraries. You have to pip install PyMySQL, as well as you have to install MySQL connector. You know how to install, right? We use a pip command for that. So the same thing I'm doing here. So we need to install two things, Python MySQL as well as MySQL connector. Do along with me. Oh, why it's taking so much time? Yeah. So it is like installing collected packages. Oh, successfully installed. Yeah, done. So once you install the packages, what you have to do, you have to import some basic things. You have to import operating system, that is import OS. Yeah. And then whatever we have installed, those things has to be imported. So how do you import? So I need to import a MySQL. So MySQL dot connector. So import MySQL dot connector. And also you can import a basic libraries such as import pandas as well as import NumPy. So these two things are very important libraries in a data science. Let me take a alias as PD and also let me take alias as NP for NumPy. Let's import this. Oh, why it's taking so much time? Done with importing. You'll import OS in order to interact with an operating system. Mother Venkata, I'll share the Google Drive link at the end of the class, okay? Now focus on this. Why it's taken so much time? Just a minute. Yeah, but I did restarted. Oh, I did, but still it's taking time. Oh my god. Oh, just wait. Just give me a second. Do people have imported it? My God, it's taking time. Yeah, okay. That's good. You people are fast. Why my system has become slow? I don't know. I'm sorry for that. Yeah, it's taking time. Instead of this, I could have done it in Google Colab. Okay, just give me a second. I'll just open Google Colab. That would be the better option. You people can do it in Jupyter Notebook itself. Oh, yeah, finally it's done. Thank God. Yeah. Okay, so first you have to import, you have to install these two things, MySQL as well as MySQL connector. Once you do this, import the basic things like OS operating system, and then you have to import pandas, NumPy as well as MySQL.connector. Okay, it takes some time. Have some patience. Yeah. So once this is done, we just need to connect to our database server. So how do you connect that? Any idea? So I need to connect this to our database server. So I'll take a variable as connection. So connection equals MySQL dot connector. Let's take a MySQL dot connector, which we have imported it. Dot. Let's take a keyword connect. Connect is basically used to connect to a server. Okay, MySQL dot connector dot connector. You just need to specify your host name. So host equals. I'll just copy the thing. You guys have connected it or no? Yeah. So I gave host name and let me specify the username. So it's going to be user equals. So it's DM user SQL. Yeah. And then let me specify the password. Oh, someone has shared the password. That's good. Yeah. Okay, let me paste it here. Yeah. So done. Let's run this. This is how you connect to our server. Okay. So connection is done. Yeah. You guys have connected it. You just have to make a MySQL dot connector. That is what we use. That is the keyword, and we use a connect function. And we specify host name, username, and the password inside the connect. So that will connect to a database server. Okay, once you are connected, you need to initialize that. How do you initialize? Let me take a variable as cursor equals. So I need to initialize the connection. So my server is inside a connection. So I'll take a connection dot cursor. So this is going to initialize the connection. And once this is done, do you want to see the available databases inside the server or inside this database? I mean, inside the server. How do you see that? What is the command to see the existing or available databases? What did you use in MySQL? Same thing has to be used even here. What is it? Yeah, it's a show databases, exactly. So I'll just say cursor dot, cursor has got the connection, cursor dot. So I need to execute. So when you want to execute the query, so here we are trying to we are trying to write a query, right? That is show databases. So I need to fetch all the available databases inside this server. So I'm using the execute keyword, execute show databases. Okay, let's run this. Showing access denied. Are you sure? Is that the issue with everyone? Okay, just a minute. I'll share you the password. Everything I'll share. Post name, user, and password. Just a minute. Can someone type something in Q&A? Okay, thank you. Is it visible to you now? Did you reflect out? So once you connect with that, in order to see these databases, what you have to do, I'm using for loop because there will be many databases, right? So I'll use for loop for IAM. So all the databases are available in cursor. So it's for I in cursor. I just want to print I. Okay, if I run this, it's going to print me the available databases. What happened? Make sure you have entered correct password and host name. That's the issue. I'll just share this code in the Q&A. Just copy this. Otherwise, it just shows you an error. Okay. Use this code. Now it will work for you. If you make any mistakes while entering the password or a username, it just throws an error. So this is how you will look at the existing databases. You can see for I in cursor, we have printed the available databases. We have two databases. One is information schema and another one is DataMites SQL. Okay. So we have two databases. Now I have to connect to any one of the database. So how do you connect? How do you connect to a database? So I'll use a connection. Is it working for you? So it's connection equals, let's say it's MySQL dot connector. dot connect. We are connecting to individual SQL, individual database. So connect to, I need to take the same connection and I just want to specify, database name. That's it. This code is for connecting to a server and this code is for connecting to a database. And let's see, let me include another keyword that is database. So database equals. So I'll use that DataMites underscore SQL. That's my database. I'm interested in that database. Okay, is it working? Okay, so I have connected to a database. So once you connect to a database, what you have to do, you need to check the available tables, right? So how do you check? What is the code to check the available tables? So I need to check a database tables. Tables available in the database. So I'll take a variable as db underscore tables. And let's take pd.read underscore we use SQL query here. SQL query of. I need to check the number of tables that are available inside this. So I'll say show tables, comma, and your database is inside a connection. So make sure you write that here as a second argument. That is the connection. And I want to see the table. So I'll print tb underscore tables. Yes, Shweta, that's right. So let's run this. Is it working in your case? Did you get these tables? So we have different tables inside this DataMites underscore SQL. So different tables are like country, customers, department, employee, orders, product, salary grade. It's working. That's good. You got the connection. No error while connecting to the server, right? So initially it was like a passcode issue or something. You might have entered it wrong. You should be very careful. Yeah. So what we did, so first we installed a packages like MySQL and also we installed MySQL connector. And then we imported OS because OS is like operating system will be dealing with operating system, right? That's why you have to import OS. And then you have to import your MySQL connector as well as you have to import pandas and NumPy. Pandas because we'll be dealing with our data frames and NumPy like will be fetching our numerical things, no? So in that case, NumPy is helpful, okay? And yeah, here are the details for the database server. In order to connect to a server, like you want the details like host name, username, and password. So first you have to connect to a server that is basically done with MySQL.connector.connect. MySQL.connector, this you have imported it using this. Only you can connect to a server. Okay, connect is a function that is used to connect, and you need to specify the arguments such as host, username, and a password. Once you do this, you can check the available databases inside this. It's just I take a variable as cursor and connection.cursor and just ask for cursor.execute show databases. So it will have a multiple databases. In order to give everything one by one, we are making use of for loop. Okay. So once this is done, connect to our database. We have got two different databases, right? One is information schema and the other one is DataMites SQL. So now I'm interested in DataMites underscore SQL. So I want to connect to that database. How do you connect? That is basically done with the help of MySQL.connector.connect. This works exactly the way you tried with connecting to a server. Same thing, but there you tried with connecting to a server. To connect to a server, you need just host, username, and a password. But if you want to connect to a database, Extra thing, what you want is like database name. You need to specify your database name. That's what I did here. I think you can make out that. So I just specified, database equals DataMites _ SQL. Once you connect to a database, obviously the basic thing, you just have to look for what are the different tables that are inside the database, right? So that is basically done with, we are using pt.read _ SQL _ query, because we are writing a query here and it has to return me the tables. So the keyword is show tables, and make sure you write a connection because we have connected to a database and that is stored inside a connection variable. So we are taking connection, and if you print the tables, it's going to return you the available tables. So these are the different tables that you can see in DataMites SQL database, like country, customers, department, employee, orders, products, and salary grade. Okay, understood? Now let's do some CRUD operations based on, in order to fetch certain records. Yeah, the way we did in MySQL, similarly, we are trying to do the same operations or the same SQL commands or the same SQL statements using a Python. We'll do that. So fetch all the records. What is the syntax? What is the syntax to fetch all the records? You know that? What does it select? Asterisk from. So let's take a table name as so let's take a customer table. Okay, if it was just a MySQL workbench, then this statement would have been sufficient in order to fetch all the records. But here, what we are doing, we are trying to do it with a Python, using Python, right? So in this case, it's not that easy. You are not supposed to write only a single statement. You have to make a connection for this. So query is something like this. What you have to do is, you have to write a query. This is my query, right? Select asterisk from customers. That means I'm trying to fetch all the records. So this is my query that has to be stored inside a variable. So I'll say query, and make sure you write your query within a single quote or a double quote. Okay, that's the important thing here. No need to specify a semicolon here. Make sure you write a query inside of. Exactly, Partha, yeah. So this is how you write a query, and then you have to connect this to a connection. So how do you do that connection? So we are trying to fetch a customer table, right? Let's say it's a customer. I'll store it inside a customer, and then I need to connect to a connection. How do you connect it to a connection? Basira, just check with the database name. Have you given it correctly? So it's going to be pd.read _ SQL. Okay, instead of read _ CSV, we are using read _ SQL because all these records are available inside a SQL file. That's why. Okay. And within a bracket, what do you have to write? So inside this read SQL, you have to pass two things. What are they? It basically takes two arguments. The first argument is it takes a query, and then what is the other thing? Along with a query, you need to specify a connection. Exactly. Connection is important. Okay. Okay, once you do this, you can just print your data set. It's going to return you the customer. Shall I run this? Get it? So this is how you can extract all your records from a table using Python. Look here, there it was just like one line of code. Here you have to write a connection every time when you execute each query. That's one of the complexity of using Python. Otherwise, rest of the things are similar. And also when you have a massive data, in that case, it's always good practice to go with databases rather doing it in a Python. Okay. So for industry level projects, obviously, like for practicing things, you can go with a Python. For industry level projects, obviously, you have to go with MySQL Workbench or SQL or Oracle or MySQL Server. Yeah, it has a very less data. Exactly. Understood. So this is how you will fetch all the records from that customer table. You can change your name. So you had one more table, right? Like you had different tables. You can just check. You can try it out. You can play around things. So let's try with a country instead of, or else let's try with a department. And I want to see that, records in a department. I want to fetch all the records from a department table. And instead of customers, I'm changing it to department. And even here, you can just change it. Okay, it's showing me warnings. How do you ignore that? How do you overcome that warning? What is the code for that? It's kind of an annoying thing, like looking at all these things. So how do you avoid warnings? Yeah, import warnings. Only that's it. And you can see here, this is a department column, department table where you have department name, and location. Here. Yeah. If you want, you can try with different columns as well. That's going to work. So let's import warnings and also warnings dot filter warnings ignore. So if you make use of this thing, sorry. So it will avoid the warning that it's showing here. Okay. You have to import this when you import that pandas and numpy itself. Then you don't see those instructions or warnings. Rita, probably you might have entered a wrong host name, wrong username or a password. I shared it in a Q&A. Just copy that and paste it. Okay, that might be the issue. It's working for others. For others, can I get few confirmations? Is it working? Yes. Okay, that's good. Okay. Yeah. Rita, your code is right. Just check with your connection. Just check with your connection and look at this. Is this the same database name, DataMites underscore SQL itself? Issue might be somewhere in the connection. Yeah. So shall we apply where condition for the given data set? Let's try a few SQL commands using a Python. Yeah. Okay. So what shall I do? Okay, let's focus on a single table. Let's fix on to single table. I think it's good to select your products, I think. It's working, Rita. What was the mistake? Okay, let us fix to this product table. Let's see products. Yeah. And let me run those. Products. Let's run this. Okay, we have different things. Okay, kernel issue probably. Okay, yeah. So this is my products table. And let's try to fetch records based on certain condition, okay? Okay, my first question is, I want to see the unique values inside of distinct values inside a category. So what would be the code? How do you write a code? So you have to write a query equals. You have to use a select statement. And in order to fetch unique values, it's going to be distinct. Distinct is a keyword. And distinct of what? We are trying to fetch a distinct category, right? Category from the table is products. Okay, so this is my query. And I can say output or else I can say result that I'm expecting. Okay, I'll say result. Result equals pd dot read underscore SQL of. So you have to pass two things, query, comma. Instead of specifying a query, you can pass directly the statement inside in the place of query. In the first argument, you can directly write your statement. Even that works. Okay, and also let me specify the connection. Okay, and let's print the result. What it has to return me? It has to return me the distinct values. Yes? Did anyone get answer? Yes, but Raj, hey, why do you use like data.column of unique? I'm showing you the just I'm basically trying to fetch the unique values, category column. That is basically done with the help of distinct in SQL. Okay, don't go with data.column.unique because here we are dealing with a SQL. So let's only focus on a SQL command. Okay. So it's our result. Let's run it. Yeah, the different categories are like furniture, office supplies, and technology. So this is how you look for a distinct values in the category column. Is it clear? Similarly, you can try with subcategory. Instead of category, just change it to, okay, I'll just copy the code. We'll try for distinct values in a subcategory column. I think there are many. It's going to return you many things. There are 10 things, 10 unique things. Are you understanding? Is it working for you? Yes, okay. How do you find a count of distinct values? I want a count of values. I want a count of values. I know that there are 3 values, but I want it using a SQL. How do you get it? It's just count of. That's it, right? You have to use the count aggregate function in order to find the number of distinct values. Yeah, it's giving you a new column as a count of distinct category. It says like, there are 3 unique values inside that category. Okay. It's working exactly same. The same query you wrote it in MySQL Workbench, but there we didn't connect it. Like there was no. It didn't ask for a connection because everything was done automatically there. But here, since we are using database inside of Python, there are different platforms, right? Like this is a Python and that is SQL, like database. So in this case, you have to make a connection and separately you have to write a query. That's one of the complex thing. Otherwise, rest of the things are similar. Okay. Understood. Now let's move to finding. Let's try to filter out data based on a where clause. Yeah. So we have unique values like let's say like how many records have got. Okay, using where clause. So let's try to fetch records from table where category equals furniture. So that means here you need to specify a condition and you need to filter your record. So what do you do? First, you have to write a query. Query equals, how do you write a query using where clause? Select, I want all the records. So it's going to be select asterisk from, I will leave as product. Yeah. Select star from product where? Where what? I need to specify category equals furniture. So since it is string, you need to specify it within a single quote. Okay, so this is my query. I need to give a connection now. I need to bind, query and the connection. So result equal, that is basically done with pd dot read underscore SQL log. I just want to pass the query and I need to specify the connection. Okay, and let's print the result. Did you get the output? How many results it's giving? How many records are there? Oh, is it furniture or furnitures? Oh, that difference is it's actually a products. No. My table name itself is wrong. It's products. Hey, king. Okay. Yeah, I got that. I got the error. So you're not supposed to use single quote for both the things. Use either double quote for one thing and use single quote for another thing. Okay. For furniture, let's use a single quote. And for entire query, let's use a double quote. Okay, then it works. Yeah, that's the issue. If you use a similar quote, it's going to throw you an error. Okay. So it gave you all the records which has in which the category is furniture. So these records belongs to furniture category. Okay. So this is how a where condition works. Even you can specify multiple condition. Let's say, do you want to filter records in which a category is furniture and subcategory is tables? How do you do that? How do you specify a multiple conditions? What should I specify? What should I mention? And operator, exactly. When you want to specify a multiple conditions, you just have to use and operator. So let's say category equals, I'll say tables. So this will return you the records, which has a category furniture as well as the subcategory. Oh, sorry, I've taken its category. That's basically a subcategory, sub_category. That is tables. It's going to return the products which satisfies both the condition. That means category has to be furniture and subcategory should be table. So this is how where clause is going to work. Working, is it easy? Okay, now my question is, I want to return records which belongs to a category such as furniture and office supplies. How do you do that? What logical operator should I use in order to return records belongs to furniture as well as office supplies? I need to use what's logical operator? And. Hey, it's not and, it should be or. And means like both condition has to be true in order to return a record. Or means like either if the condition is true, then it returns record. Okay, like if I say I want records related to furniture and subcategory, it's completely different things. You have to use or, not and. Okay. Yeah. So I'll do changes here only. Just make out that, and you people have to do it in another code line. So let's say category equals furniture as well as, or let's say category equals office supplies, which is going to return me all the records which has got the category as furniture as well as the category as office supplies. You can see, you will see furniture and the records which has furniture and office supplies as the category. You don't see technology because I have not specified that. Yes? Getting? Let's say I want to print only office supplies and records which has a category like office supplies under technology. I want to skip furniture. So which operator can I use now? I want office supplies under technology and I don't want to print furniture. Which operator should I use now? I want only office supplies under technology records. I don't want to print the records which belongs to a furniture category. So what can I use? Which is the another logical operator? Yeah, not operator, or else you can use not equal symbol. Yes. Okay, I'll see. I can say, category not equal. What is the symbol for not equal? It's factorial equal. That is exclamatory equal. I'll say exclamatory equals furniture. Or else you can say not category. Okay, where not category equal furniture. Both the codes are going to give you the same answer. Okay, let's run this. Look here, you can see the records which belongs to office supplies and the technology. You don't see furnitures here. Yes, no? So this is how where condition is working along with our SQL commands. This is how you extract this is how you fetch your records based on a multiple conditions. Clear? Even you can specify multiple conditions like 3 conditions, 4 conditions. It's going to work. Is it working? And do you want to order it? Do you want to use order by? Do you want to order by a sorry, let's see, I want to order this subcategory in descending order. I want to arrange this data in descending order. So how do you do that? How do you format your records? How do you present your records either in ascending or a descending order? And it's basically done with order by clause, right? So where category not equal to, so for the same thing, I'll just show you the order by. Let's say it's order by which column? Let's say order by subcategory. No. Let's say I want it in descending order. I'll specify DESC. Okay, and let's run this. Look here, it has arranged everything in descending order. It gave you the records, which includes only office supplies and the technology. And it has ordered your data by the subcategory column in a descending order. Descending means highest to lowest, right? And here it's in alphabetical order. That means from Z to A. Like alphabet which is near to Z is like S comes first, right? Like if we go in a descending order, then P, then L, then B, then A. If I have not specified this DESC, it could have arranged it in ascending order. Like it would have started from A, B, L, P, S. Okay, this is how order by clause is going to work. It helps you in arranging data in increasing or decreasing order. Clear? Even you can arrange this, you can specify 2 columns for order by. You want to do that. Order by, let's say subcategory DESC. Let me give another column. I'll say I need to arrange category in descending, sorry, let's say in ascending order. Okay. Look here, only subcategory is arranged in a descending order. It started from S and it went till A. And office like category, like it's a random thing. Now let's see how it will arrange. What it has done. Okay, it's the same thing, like technology. This is not going to work. Okay, instead of a category, let's say product name. I think that might work. Yeah. Look carefully, you'll understand it. So what we are trying to do, we are ordering this entire data or records by subcategory in our descending order. You can see subcategory, it's in our descending order, and ascending and product name in ascending order. Look here, you have got 2 phones right here. Look here, you have got 2 phones. And correspondingly, you have got 2 product names. And one is starting with K and another one is starting with M. Because I have used a product name along with the order by, it's arranged in ascending order. K came first and M is next. Ascending means it's an increasing order, right? From lowest to highest. So that's why K came first. If I don't specify this, it will be like, it won't be like K will not be first. Look at that difference. By default, it's taken K. Okay. So let me change it to product name as a product name. Let me order it by descending order. Let's say DESC. Now you will make out the difference. So M has to come first. Okay. Let me run this. Look here. Can you make out the difference? So initially K was there. Since I made that, order by product name in descending order, M came first, then K. Similarly here, binders is repeating F first and D next. Getting? So this is how order by is going to work. Clear? Do you want to try in operator? How do you try in operator? What will be the query for in operator? Let's say I want to return records in which records which belongs to a subcategory like foods, paper, and storage. In operator works exactly like a or operator, right? Like for specifying a multiple conditions. What is my question now? I want to return all the records from products where subcategory is three different things. That means I want records belongs to foods, paper, and binders. So what should I do? I should specify my column name, that is where subcategory. Okay, where subcategory in what? You need to specify your multiple conditions inside a bracket. So I want the values to be, it should be a storage. And I want a records in which a subcategory has got foods. And go to the next one, let's say binders. You'll say only these records belongs to these three subcategories. Okay, let's run this. Can you make out? Oh, I think it's a binders. It's not binder. Yeah. Can you see it just gave you the records which belongs to subcategory storage, phones, and binders. This is how in operator is going to work. You can specify multiple conditions and it's going to return records for each condition that you specify inside a bracket. So this is how in operator works. Working? Did you get the same thing? Yeah, okay. I'll show you the between and like operator. Let's take some other table. For between, we want some numerical data, right? So instead of product, let me take a employee table. Okay, yeah. So let's say select asterisk from, I'm saying employee. First, let me see like what is there inside this, and then let's focus on what to return. Okay, you have a different things. You have employee number, employee name, job, hire date, salary, department number. Okay. Okay, let's do one thing. Let's try to filter a record, or let's try to get a record. Let's try to get an employee IDs or employee numbers who has got a salary between 800 to 1,000. Okay, so how do you do that? So select asterisk from employee, where salary, I want a record who has got a salary between 800 to 1,000. So how do you do that? Which operator should I use now? Kushbu, just go with W3 schools where you'll find database, and also you'll see the explanation, clear explanation. You can learn and you can practice there. It's a between, Basaraj, it's not limit, it's a between, because I'm trying to fetch records who has got the salary between 800 to 1,000. So where I have taken a column name as salary, and I should use an operator as between what? 800 to value 1 to 1,000. And let's run this. It's giving me error because salary is basically float. You need to specify float value. Oh, again, what happened? Oh, yeah. It's not a two, it's and. Sorry. So it give you the records who has got salaries between 800 to 1,000. So there are only two records. What if I see 1,500? So I might get some more records. Let's run this. Yeah. I've got more records now. Okay, so this is how a between operator works. And do you want to see the missing values? There are missing values here, right? How do you find missing values? What is the SQL command that we use in order to find our missing values? How to check the shape of the data set? Just its result dot shape. That's it. It says like 7 rows and 8 columns. Yeah, it's is null. Is null is used to check a null values, right? So let's say select staff from employee where I could see some null values here, right? And see okay, what is that? Where I just want to specify a column name and I am checking for is null. And let's say it is null. Let's ask the Python. Why it's taking time. It says my SQL connection is not available. I think connection got over. I need to run again. I need to start from here or from here. From here. Yeah. So it has given you the records which has got null values. You can see these are the 8 records which has got null value. If you want to see the column, only that particular column, you can just specify the column name here instead of asterisk. Okay, just specify the column and let's run this. It will give you the column which has got the null values. Okay. If you say is not null, if you want to check non-null values, then it's instead of is null, it's just is not null. Yeah, that's going to return you the records which doesn't have any null values. These are like non-null values. There are no empty values or there are no null values in the state in these records. Okay. How do you use like operator? What is the purpose of using like operator? To filter records based on a pattern, right? So we use like operator in order to filter records based on a pattern. So let's say select asterisk from employee where job I just have to use a keyword as like, and I need to specify the pattern. Okay, what shall I say? Okay, I want to return a records of a salesman. Okay, so can I say S percentage N? So that means it returns things which start from S and which end with N. Yep. So it gives you the records which relates to a salesman. These are the employee numbers whose job is salesman. Okay, this is how like operator works, right? You can play with different patterns. You have learned different patterns, right? Like you can You can specify your start value and also you can specify end value. Value in between can be specified. There are different patterns and you can try that and you can play around with a different value so that you can learn things like how like operators work. What is yes percentage here? It's a pattern, okay? I want to extract records in which employee job is salesman. So salesman means obviously it is starting with yes and it's ending with n. So I've used this pattern. Yes percentage n means it will start with S letter and it should end with N letter. For salesman, it's starting with yes and ending with n. That's why I gave that. Clear? If you don't want to do this, wait, like there are a few more jobs here. Let me run this. Okay, what else we have? We have manager. How do you filter the records related to a manager employers? How do you do? Employee, where job like. I want records related to a manager. So what will be the pattern? How do you specify pattern for manager? I'll use a different pattern now. I'll start with M and 1 underscore. Or else I can say it start with M and M percentage. That means it will print you the job which is starting with M. Manager is the only job which is starting with M, right? You can use different patterns so that you can filter it as your data. So this is how different SQL commands are going to work, even in Python. Like if you connect to a server and if you connect to a database, this is how you can write a query. You can filter records based on certain conditions. Clear? Do you want to work with aggregates? I just show the aggregates. I think it's 11:15. I'll show you aggregates. What are the different aggregates that you know? I discussed about an aggregate function in yesterday's class. What are the different aggregate functions? Your sum, count, and then average, minimum, maximum. Yeah, yes, Debashus, there are different patterns that you can use for salesman. There are different patterns, like around 6 to 7 patterns. In that, you can use anything. Okay. Yeah, count, minimum, maximum, sum, and average. So here we have got a salary, right? So yeah, let's try to first of all count number of employees. How do you find number of employers? So it's basically just count of employee number. Count of employee number is going to return you the count of employees, right? And let's run this. It says that there are 14 employees in this particular data. This is how count function works. Okay, now let's apply some other aggregate function. So let's try to find a minimum salary in this particular salary column. How do you find a minimum salary? It's just MIN of. You have to specify your salary column, which is going to return you a minimum salary. So it says 800 is the minimum salary in this particular data. How do you find a maximum? Do you want to find maximum as well? So it's just a maximum salary. So minimum salary is 800, maximum salary is 5,000. So this is how you apply your aggregate. Similarly, you can even find all the aggregates in a single thing. Let's say it was just employee number, right? Yeah. Let's find number of employees as well. So it says number of employees are 14, minimum salary is 800, maximum salary is 5,000. And do you want to find the sum of salary? So let's say it's a sum of salary. And do you want to find an average of salaries? So I'm showing you all the aggregates in a single statement, okay? So that it will be easy for you to understand. Sum of salary means it will sum all the salary, and average means it will calculate an average. Average is nothing but it's like a sum divided by a count. You can see I applied all the aggregates in a single query. So we got count of employee, like there are 14 employers inside this table, or we have 14 records, or we have information related to 14 employees. Minimum salary for this data is like 800, maximum salary is 5,000. Sum of a salary is like 29,025, and average salary is like, 2,073. So this is how you apply aggregate functions on individual column. It basically returns you a single value. Okay, it helps you in calculating a count of records, or like it helps you in finding a minimum value. Minimum means obviously it has to be a single, and maximum obviously it should be a single value. When you find a sum means you'll find sum of everything. So it has to return you a single value. Similarly, it's going to be average means average of a salary, even that is a single value. Getting? Yeah, this is how you apply aggregate functions using SQL query, and we are doing this by connecting SQL Server in Python using MySQL. Is it working for you? Do you want to group by things? Do you want to find number of employers based on a job? Yeah. So I think this. Okay. Let me write a query. Query equals. Let's see. Select. Okay. Oh, sorry. I'll take from first. I'll look at the employee table and then I can frame my question. Okay. So, and result is going to be, I need to establish a connection between a query and a server. So it's going to be result equals pt dot read underscore SQL of. You just need to specify your query, comma, specify the connection. And let's print the result. So it's going to return you the entire employee table. And now I need to group by. I need to use a group by clause. My question is like, I want to find like number of employers based on a job. Okay, I want to know like how many employees are there in sales department, how many are clerk, how many are managers, how many are analysts. So that is basically done with the help of group by. Group by is used to filter records by grouping. Yes, no. So select asterisk from employee. So you have to apply the aggregate function. You can't fetch everything. So I want to find the count of employees, right? So let's say it's count of employers. And also you want to see the based on what, like count of employers based on a job. So I just want to print the job name as well. So yeah, job name. Job, comma, count of employee numbers. That means it gives like how many are salesman, how many are clerk, how many are manager. So from employee table, and then you have to use group by. Group by what? We are grouping it by job column. And let's run this. Look what it gave. Initially, when I applied aggregates, it gave me the total count of an employees. But now here, just by using a group by clause, I was able to group a different employees into a different designation, like analyst. I was able to find like number of employees belong to different jobs. Like there are 2 employees who are analysts, there are 4 employees who are clerk, there are 3 employees who are manager, and there is 1 employee who is a president, and there is 4 records who are salesman. So this is how a group by is going to work. Okay. And do you want to find a maximum salary for these jobs? Yeah, you just have to give an aggregate function. It's maximum of, just say maximum of salary. And let's run this. So correspondingly, it just gives you the maximum salary. So analyst, as there are 2 analysts, okay, and it's a very simple data to analyze. So there are 2 analysts. Among them, the maximum salary is like 3,000, and for clerk, it's 1,300, and for manager, it's 2,975. Similarly, president, it's only one thing, obviously, maximum or a minimum, it has to return you the same thing. For salesman, it's 1,600 for it's a maximum salary. And do you want to find similarly the minimum salary? Yeah, just say minimum of salary. It's just going to return you things like minimum salary. So this is how Do try to group your data into different groups by using group by class. You can also use having clause, right? How do you use having clause? In order to specify a condition. Yes. Let's say I want to filter, I want to return the records only. I want the records which has got, employee numbers. I just want to print the job or the designation, which has got employees greater than 2. Okay, or else let's say I want to print records who has got employee number, which department has got employee number greater than 3. So what do you do after we are doing group by job and you need to specify the condition? For that, I'm using having clause. You did average salary as well. That's good, the bashes. Yeah, let me do it. Let's find average salary as well. Let's say average of salary. And let's run this. Oh, it's going to give me an error. I know why this. I didn't finish this having clause. Now let me run. Yeah. Similarly, you can find average, minimum, maximum count. And also you can find anything else like sum of salary, it's not required. Okay. Oh, yeah, you can find like how much salary you spend for each department, like analyst, or like sales working as an analyst or a clerk, something like that. Okay, my question is I want to filter this record, the job which has got the employee number greater than 3. So for that, I need to use having clause. Yeah. Having clause. Oh, I'm not supposed to write that clause. It's having what? I want a count of employee number greater than 3. Any idea about an output? Any guess about an output? It has to return me which 3 jobs. Greater than 3 means it has to return me just clerk and a salesman. So those 2 jobs have got employee count greater than 3, right? Clerk has got 4 employees and salesman has got 4 employees. And let's run this. Look, it's giving me just 2 records based on the condition because I have specified a condition using having clause. Why don't I specify where clause? I discussed all these things in yesterday's session. You're supposed to, whenever you want to specify your condition, when it's a group by clause, you're not supposed to use a where clause. It works only for normal select statements. When you group of things and if you want to filter it based on the groups, in that case, you have to go with the having clause. Okay. So this is how group by aggregates and having clause is going to work. Is it clear? Even you can order it. You can use order by after having clause. It just gives you. Okay, let's say I need to order it by, we'll order it by minimum of salary. Yeah. Okay, let me show you this as well. And let's see it's order by what? Order by minimum of salary. Let's order it in a descending order. Now it's 800 and 1250. I want to reverse it. So minimum of salary and DSC. Oh. Wait. Let's do one thing. Let's order by job itself. I'm not supposed to take an aggregate functions. That's why it's giving an error. So aggregate functions has to be taken only for having clause, not for order by. Okay. Yeah. So it has ordered like salesman clerk. And if you want it in other way around, you can just remove that DESC. The clerk will be first and salesman will be next. So this is how order by is going to work. Okay, remember the order when you use group by, first you have to specify, group by first, then having clause, then order by. This is how the order follows. Okay, understood. Is things clear? Similarly, can you try joins with Python? Joins using the Python by connecting a connection and writing a query. Can you do that? Do you want me to show that? Okay, I'll show one join and remaining you can do it. Yeah. So I'll take two tables, orders and customers, and both the tables have got a similar column. I want you to figure it out. I'll just show one query and I want you people to do it similar way. Okay, let's see, select a star from or asterisk from, let's see, orders. So this is my first table and let's see, result equals pd dot, oh, sorry, pd dot read underscore SQL of. Is it working? Are you understanding things like how it works with the Python? And I just want to make a connection. And let's print the result. Yes, so this is my order ID, sorry, orders table, and which has got a columns like order ID, order date, customer ID, product ID, sales, quantity. All right. And similarly, I want to write another query to check with a customer table. I want to see whether these two tables have got the same column or not. Okay, let's see, select asterisk from customers. Okay, and let me establish a connection. So that is present equals. Is it working for others? Why no reply? So read underscore SQL. Query, comma. Let's make a connection. Yes. And let's print the result. I'm showing you like how to join two tables. So I'm taking two tables. One is orders and another one is customers. Can you identify the common name in both the table? Which is the common column? Which is the common column in orders and customers? Customer ID, but good. Good observation. You can see we have got customer ID in orders as well as we got customer ID in customers as well. Good, Hina and Kavita. That's perfect. Yeah. So now let's combine them. How do you combine? In order to join, what join shall we do? We'll use left join first. Yeah, I need to write a query again. So query equals what? Select. Okay, I want all the records. Let's say asterisk from orders. I'm using a left join. Left join on what? Second table name as a customers on a common column as what? It's orders dot customer ID equals customers dot customer ID. So this is how you write a join query. Yeah. So select star from orders, left join customers on orders dot customer underscore ID equals customers dot customer ID. Okay, let me make a connection. So result equals pd dot read underscore SQL of. Just pass a query, comma, and I need to make a connection. So I need to pass connection as well. And let's print the result. Okay, it has combined everything. Someone asked me, like, can we specify an asterisk, right? Yeah, you can specify. It gives you, it combines everything from both the tables. Okay, can you see order ID, order date, customer ID, product ID? But it's repeating. Customer ID is repeating. See, like, it's combining everything. That means what left join is doing? It's combining all the records from left table as well as the common records from the right table. Yes, no? So you can just specify like whatever columns you want so that it will be, it looks pretty good compared to, this. Here you can see repetitive things. Okay. And if you want to find a inner join means it just returns you the common records, right? Just change it to inner join and let's run this. So it gives you the common records. There are 8 records. Okay. And also you can try with, we did with left, we did with inner, and also you can try with right join. You just have to change right join. So it's going to return you all the records. See, initially, like for inner join, it was just 8 record. Now it's showing you 13 record. And you could see some non values. Yeah. What right join will do? It will combine all the records from right table and the common records from a left table, right? You can analyze it, how things are happening. It's combining everything from right and common records from a left. Okay. Is it working? Got the basic idea, right? Like if you use asterisk, it gives you everything. Like if you want a specific columns, just specify your columns and just remove this asterisk and specify whatever you want. Let me print only few things. So let's say order ID, comma, let's say order date. I want order date, comma, let's see, sales. Okay, I'm just focused on sales. And what else there? Quantity. Okay. So it just gives you the required columns that you want. Okay, if you want everything, you can use asterisk, or else you can just specify. Here it's a right join. So you can see it's giving none values. Okay. It's cleared everything about the joins and how to connect SQL or database, SQL server or a database server to a Python and applying a CRUD operations. Almost like I explained everything. We covered all the statements, like select statement, nesting, while clause, in between, like order by, is null, is not null. And also we did aggregations, group by clause, having clause. And also finally the joins. So these are the very basic things that, what people expect from you. Okay. Learn in a both the way, okay? Like connecting to SQL Workbench installed in a local system using the same way using Python. Exactly, yeah. But there, like everything will be done automatically. But here you have to make a connection. Yeah, you can export it as CSV. I didn't show you that, right? Yeah, that's the final thing I'll show you. Okay, this is your data, right? Your result. Let's see. Okay, not this. Okay, let me go to some table. Okay, so you have this ordered table. You have extracted this, right? This is what you got by writing a query like select asterisk from orders. This is what you have written. So now you want to use this, right? Like when you start doing your project, obviously, like you have to save this data instead of running everything. You have to save it as a CSV. How do you save? So what was the name? It's a result, right? So it's just result dot to underscore CSV of. You just need to specify the file name where you have to save. Okay, like let's say I want to save it as it's an. What was my table name? I don't know. What is that? Okay. Okay. Wait. Okay. Let's say it as an order. Yeah. Let's say I just want to save it as an order table. So it's going to be order.csv. And let's run this. Your data will be saved now. Where it will be? Any idea? It will be in your folder where you're doing. So I'm basically doing it in downloads. Yeah, location of a notebook. Where is order? Can you see here? Here it is. Order.csv, and you can open that. Oh, it has to open. Yeah, this is my data. I'm just showing it in a comma separated way. It's a CSV format, right? Similarly, you can export it to Excel format as well. Understood? That's an important thing. Thank you for reminding that. Yeah, you can use visualization. You can save your data and you can start visualization. You know different libraries, right? You know NumPy and you know Seaborn and a Matplotlib, right? You can use those libraries and you can start plotting different plots for your data. That's how you do. So if someone give you a database host name, username, and a password, just take that, follow the procedure, try to extract the data that you want. And also, once you extract your data, just save it to CSV format and then start with your normal procedure, like whatever you follow. What is the first step? You have to state your business case, and then you will start importing your data set, right? So you have saved it as a CSV and upload your data, and you will read your data set. Once you read your file, what you do some basic checks. You'll check info, you'll check data types, you'll print columns, you'll check head, tail, and also you'll check for missing values. Once you finish this basic stuff, just jump onto exploratory data analysis, where you'll be exploring data. In a sense, you'll be plotting different visualizations. Like you will try to plot, you'll do different analysis like univariate, bivariate, multivariate analysis, where you'll be plotting different graphs in order to understand your data. Yes. Once you're done with EDA, you will go to the pre-processing, then feature engineering. Then if your data is not balanced, you'll use different techniques to balance your data. Then you'll split your data, then training model. Once you train model, you'll look for the output, predicting, and then evaluating a model. If your model has not given a good accuracy, you go for output parameter tuning. Yes. So once you do that, you write the conclusion. This is how the procedure of machine learning project starts. So in order to do all these steps, obviously you have to fetch your data. That is basically fetched from a database. Yes, Rita, you can do those operations as well, like dropping and all, but we are not focused on that. Okay. In using, if you are using a SQL in Python, just focus on these basic things like, like CRUD operations, like reading data. Okay, joins, focus only on joins and a normal SQL statements like select, where clause, between operator, and also like group by clause, these things. That is sufficient. Don't go for, creating database, dropping, altering. That is like advanced concept that you all learn. Yeah, I'm interested. Just a minute, give me a second. I'll share the Google Drive link. Can someone share me that Drive link? Do you have it? I need to look for it. It's always good to know both the ways, like using Python as well as. Hey, thank you, Veena. Yeah, learn even MySQL workbench. There is another, like editor. There is SQL, even you can use that, or else SQL Server. There are different things you can explore, you can learn. It's always good thing. If you learn different databases, like almost it will be similar, only like slight changes will be there. So I have shared the Drive link. Okay. Is everything clear for the day? Did you learn something regarding a SQL? It's easy, right? You just need to focus on understanding the logic. Yeah, okay, that's amazing. Thank you. Thank you for being a part of this entire SQL webinar session. Thank you for your time. And thank you for your patience as well. Yeah, I want you people to explore more on a SQL, practice everything, like whatever I taught. And I want you people to go beyond this as well. There are many things. And yeah, all the best for your career and learn all the skills that are relevant for machine learning and get into some good companies. It was informative. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. We'll meet again. Let's plan for some other session. We'll come up with a very interesting topic probably in the coming days. Till then, Happy learning. Take care. Bye. See you all. Hey, Partha. Okay. Clients will not give you the permission. Like, yeah, like if you're working in some company, obviously they'll give you an access for that. Like if I'm giving a host name and database username and a password, obviously we can't give permission for you to create to do all those things, because it's going to create a mess with company's database. Like definitely, if you get into some job, definitely they'll provide you an access for everything. You have to be doing, you have to work with a company's database. But just for practicing, now you have to do it with a local host. Okay. Yeah. Thank you. Bye. See you all. Let me end the meeting. Thank you.